Welcome everybody to Nerdy Scores, a film podcast. My name is Bryan. I am your host. I am the Ginger Ninja, of course. It is just me this week. Today is excuse me. Today is Monday, June 6th, 2016. Couldn't record yesterday because I had a very busy day yesterday. So, unfortunately, this is the second Monday in a row where we're recording. Also, Matt isn't on here this week. Well, first of all, when I'm recording this, it's 2:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually get out of school, because I have senior study at like 12:30. Matt gets out at normal time, 2:30, because he didn't take senior study because he is a academic dork. But he's my friend and co-host, obviously. So, I'm just kidding. I hate him. Shh. Don't tell anyone. So, on episode 41, we'll do the typical rundown. News, trailers, Blu-ray releases, movie reviews, and box office results. I'll have reviews for TMNT, Out of the Shadows, and Me Before You. I, unfortunately, did not get to see Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stoppin', because of my busy schedule this week, but I will see it later this week, because instead of seeing Now You See Me 2, the three movies I'll see this upcoming weekend are Popstar, Warcraft, and then Conjuring 2. Now You See Me 2, I'll see in a few weeks whenever I have time. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, so I'm sorry I can't give you guys a review of Popstar, the acclaimed movie of the week, while I reviewed the romance movie and the family movie this week instead, the hardcore R-rated movie. Stuff happens, guys. Okay, so let's start with the news, ladies and gentlemen. Just let me pull that up. Okay, the first piece of news is that a few months ago, it was announced that there's a Mary Poppins sequel happening. Kind of a reboot sequel type of thing that takes place 20 years after the first one. It was reported that Emily Blunt was in talks to play the new Mary Poppins. And it's been confirmed that she is playing the new Mary Poppins. And it's also been confirmed that the other cast member joining this is Lin-Manuel Medina. Now, who's this guy? He is the writer and star of the critically acclaimed Broadway musical Hamilton, which I do want to see. I haven't gone around to see it because it's hard to get tickets. Oh, I'm so upset. And the movie will be coming out on Christmas Day 2018. Rob Marshall will be directing. He's the guy who directed Chicago, Into the Woods. He directed The Four Pirates of the Caribbean. He directed Memoirs of a Geisha. And it's going to be written by David McGee, who is the Oscar-nominated writer of Life of Pi. This is awesome news. I cannot wait for this Mary Poppins reboot. As a little kid, Mary Poppins wasn't really my favorite thing, but as I got older, I'm like, oh yes, Mary Poppins is dope. 3 years ago, we had Save Mr. Banks coming out. I can't even speak today. 3 years ago, we had Save Mr. Banks come out, and that was amazing. Should have gotten more Oscar buzz. That was about the making of Mary Poppins, and yeah, it's really interesting because I think Emily Blunt could pull off Mary Poppins very well because we saw her musical skills in Into the Woods, and her doing this, I think she's a terrific actress. She's only been bad in one movie, and that was recently The Huntsman. So I think she could pull it off as a Mary Poppins, but it is going to be hard for her to top Julie Andrews because Julie Andrews owns that role. No one could play that role like the way she did in the 1964 classic Disney anime film. What? Disney film. I also been battling a cough this week, so it was a little hard for me to go see 3 movies instead of 2. Fuck, I hate having this cough. Oh yeah, no video version this week, guys. I just... You guys could suffer without seeing my beautiful face. It'll be fine. You guys can manage. It'll be good. But no, I'm really looking forward to this. And Rob Marshall, like I said, is a very good director. I love The Life of Pi, and that screenplay was very good, so I'm really excited to see what Dave McGee's going to do with this. I'm really looking forward to seeing this movie. I'm really hoping it is good, because it could go wrong, but with the talent involved, I don't think it will. The next news story is that Pittsburgh 3 has now moved from July 2017 to December 2017. This movie will supposedly come out exactly 1 week after Star Wars Episode 8. There's like a lot of stuff going on right now with this movie. It was just reported the other day that Elizabeth Banks dropped out of directing it, which I don't mind personally because while I did enjoy the second one, I don't think it was as well directed as the first film. And I mean, it wasn't badly directed, it just wasn't excellently directed like it was with the first film. So, like, I'll probably talk more about that in next week's episode. But, release day-wise, I've heard rumors going around that this third film might be taking place around Christmas. So that's understandable. But it coming out a week after Star Wars, I don't know if it will do very well. It might do well because it's good counter-programming. But, really, I'm sorry if you guys are going to be annoyed with me coughing. I really am sorry about that. But it moving, I think that's fine, but it's not like a big deal because this isn't like a huge scale blockbuster, it's just a musical film, so it's not like a big deal. But then again, for those who are hardcore fans of the first two films, they'll be kind of disappointed to hear this news that they'll have to wait longer. But it is what it is, guys. December 22nd, I believe it comes out. Yeah, December 22nd. Also, another release date was that Colin Trevorrow's The Book of Henry comes out on September 16th. Yeah. That film I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing what Colin Trevorrow's going to do back in indie realm, because obviously he just directed a huge scale movie with Jurassic World, and then after this movie he's going to be doing Star Wars Episode 9, so I mean, like, the guy's got a busy schedule. I'm looking forward to this film. It stars Naomi Watts, Jacob Tremblay, and Jane Linheimer. Jane Linheimer, if you guys don't know who that is the kid from St. Vincent and Midnight Special, and then obviously Jacob Tremblay is the kid from Room, who should have been nominated for the Oscar. I'm really disappointed that he didn't get nominated, but I'm really looking forward to this film because it's an indie film. It's coming out on Oscar season. I cannot wait for this movie. The next piece of news is that Dwayne Johnson has joined Shane Black's Doc Savage. Now, I don't know much about Doc Savage. I didn't really look into it because I actually want to go into this with zero knowledge. I mean, I want to have an idea about it, but I love The Rock. He's been joining, like, everything for, like, the last, like, month. So, I mean, I'm really surprised that he's got so much on his plate. I mean, right now he's filming Fast and Furious 8. He just finished filming the Baywatch movie. He's got The Rampage, San Andreas 2, Jumanji, what else? He's got season 2 of Ballers, which is coming out in a month. Obviously Central Intelligence, which comes out next Friday, and he definitely joined something else. I just can't think of anything. I'm just gonna take a sip of my water. But no, I love The Rock. I love seeing that guy on screen. He's so charismatic. He's charming. He's funny. He's badass. He's muscular as fuck. Him working with Shane Black, I'm sold because Shane Black just released The Nice Guys, which is one of my favorite films of the year so far. I really hated that movie. Did not do very well. If it's playing near you guys, please go check it out. It's one of the best reviewed films of the year, and it really is one of the best films of the year. But this Doc Savage movie sounds pretty cool because, like I said, I don't know much about it, but it could end up being a very cool movie, and I am looking forward to checking it out, for sure. The next piece of news is that Rogue One is going to be undergoing some reshoots. Now, this is kind of something a little upsetting, but it is understandable because all movies have to go through reshoots and stuff. All these big mainstream blockbusters have to do it. The Force Awakens did it, so it's understandable why Rogue One has to do it. But then again, there have been reports saying that Disney's not really happy with the film, which does scare me a little bit because I will admit, I am a big Star Wars fan, but I'm only a fan of the films. I'm not really well-rounded with the shows or the books or the games. I'm just more well-rounded with the films. And I'm really looking forward to Rogue One because not only because I'm a Star Wars fan, but it actually looks like a great film. And I really hope that it is at least a good film. Although it probably won't be as good as The Force Awakens. But then again, it's not following that storyline. It's a different storyline. So with them reshooting it, it's understandable. Because every big movie has to go through reshoots. Mad Max had to go through reshoots. The Dark Knight had to go through reshoots. Like I said, The Force Awakens had to do it. All the Marvel movies do it. So it's understandable why Rogue One will go on the reshoots. And yeah, that's not really the big news. And the last piece of news is something that really excites me and really makes me interested. Marvel obviously has their big slate coming out. Captain Marvel is one of the films that comes out, I believe, in 2 years. I believe it comes out in the summer of 2018. I'm curious about it for sure. It has been announced that the frontrunner for the film is Brie Larson. I adore the crap out of Brie Larson. I really love that woman. That woman is not only gorgeous, she is a massive talent in Hollywood. She just won the Oscar for Room. I'm excited to see pretty much anything that she does now. Obviously, she's not really done many blockbusters. Con Skull Island, from what I'm hearing, looks just super cool, and I'm really intrigued by it, especially after that footage we got from the MTV Movie Awards a few months back. And her playing Captain Marvel, sure, I'm sold, but the thing is, she kind of needs to beef up. And I really hope she does get the role, although I read some stuff online saying that people would like it if someone unknown was cast as Captain Marvel. That's totally understandable. But you gotta look at it this way. Marvel's been getting a lot of really good talent. Like Emily Blunt at one point was in talks to play Captain Marvel. I think Brie Larson is the perfect choice to play this character. And I don't know much about Captain Marvel, but Brie Larson could pull it off. She has never let me down. She's never really given a bad performance. I've never seen a bad performance from her anyway. She was fantastic in Room. She was fantastic in Short Term 12. For what she did in 21 Jump Street, she did good. She has great comedic timing. Her episode of SNL wasn't the best episode, but everything with her was great. Her interviews are great. I love her Instagram. Guys, if you follow her on social media, she's like a queen of it. I love her so much. I really do love Brie Larson. And maybe that's a subjective thing, but to be quite honest, I think she'll pull off a great Captain Marvel, and I really hope she gets the role. So yeah, that's it with the news, guys, this week. Now let's move on to the trailers. We only got 3 trailers. Let's start with the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition trailer. Now, I thought Batman v Superman was okay. I gave it a C. I believe Matt gave it a B. I wish I wish it was better, but the biggest problem with that movie was the editing. The reason why I'm looking forward to this Ultimate Edition is because I want to see what's got cut out, and it will probably be much better because they cut out a lot of footage. This director's cut is supposedly going to be 3 hours long. It's going to be rated R. This trailer was pretty cool, and I was going to buy the movie anyway, probably day one, because when you buy it the first week, it's like $4 cheaper, so I mean, that's the best thing to do. I mean, we saw some footage with like more footage with Batman in the scene in Africa, Jenna Malone's character. I'm curious about this Ultimate Edition, and I'm definitely going to get it. It's going to be a little hard for me to watch it, because I feel like when I get this Ultimate Edition, if I get it, I'm going to have to watch both the theatrical version, and then I'm going to have to watch the Ultimate Edition so I can remember what got cut out, what didn't get cut out. That's going to be 5.5 hours of my time, so that's going to be a lot of time. And the thing is, it should be interesting. Because I really wanted to see the movie again, but I just didn't get around to seeing it in the theater again. Because I heard from most people that it was better the second time, so I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's that with that. Next one, Collide. This looks like a generic action movie. It stars Anthony Hopkins, Nicholas Hoult, Ben Kingsley, and Felicity Jones. I believe Felicity Jones gets a kidney transplant. They don't have enough money, and then Nicholas Hoult has to start killing people. I don't really remember this trailer. I watched it like 4 days ago. This trailer was bad. And I wanted to be good because I love these actors. I love Felicity Jones so much. So much. Honestly, she should have won an Oscar instead of fucking Eddie Redmayne. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for saying that, but it's the truth, guys. It's the truth. Don't yell at me. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I think this could be very cool. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, Wait, am I talking about the Collide trailer? What is going on with me today? This is a horrible episode already, guys. I'm so sorry. But this Collide movie looks horrible. I love the actors in the film. Felicity Jones is fantastic. Nicholas Hoult is cool. Anthony Hopkins, acting legend. Ben Kingsley, acting legend. But this movie looks so generic. It looks like a fucking Brick Mansions-like movie. It looks like it's from the same guys who made that movie, Taken 3, Transporter Refueled. Like, it looks like a cheap, generic action movie. And I love action movies, but I don't like these kinds of action movies, so I'm going to say skip this trailer. But that's not the worst trailer this week. This trailer is like a masterpiece compared to the next trailer and the last trailer. The last trailer I'm going to talk about is for a movie called Monster Trucks. Some creature comes down from space, goes into a car, and acts as the engine. Lucas Till's in this movie. You guys don't know who that is. He's Havoc in the new X-Men films. Oh man, this movie looks bad. It looks like Transformers meets E.T. Looks like a generic family film. Yeah, I'm not gonna go see this. This trailer played during TMNT, and I'm just like, oh fuck, what is this piece of shit? And this movie supposedly was filmed like almost 3 years ago. Almost 2 years ago. 2 years ago, excuse me. So when the movie comes out in January, that'll be almost 3 years after it filmed. That's not a good sign. Yeah, this film looks horrible, and I don't want to talk about this trailer anymore. The jokes are bad. The visuals look cheesy. Maybe it could be a surprise, but it's coming out in January, and that's usually not a good sign. So, yeah, I'm going to skip this movie. I just don't understand why anyone will go see this movie. Yes, it's good for the little little kids, I guess, but at the same time, it's like there's so many better things. So why can't you guys make a better movie? So yeah, that's it with the trailers. 17 minutes into the show. Now we're gonna go into the Blu-ray releases. There's 4 of them, but I've only seen 3. I'll talk about Gods of Egypt first. I didn't see this film. I heard it was shitty. It looked shitty. Since I work at a place where we can get movies for free, I'll probably check it out eventually. So I can't say if it's buy, rent, or skip. So the first movie I'll talk about that I actually have seen is Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. This was a stupid, guilty pleasure type of film. Lily James is fucking beautiful, and she kicked ass in this movie. Fucking Sam Riley made me want to throw up because of the way he talks. Miss Bennett, you are too functional. I don't know where the zombies are. I'm telling you guys right now, that's how he talks in the movie. And sadly, that's how he talks in real life. Part of me feels bad for mocking the guy, but honestly, it was crazy. Matt Smith was hilarious in this film, as was Lena Headey, a.k.a. Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. By the way, last night's Game of Thrones, episode 7 of season 6, holy fucking shit. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Jesus. Some character might have died, some character came back. It's crazy, guys. I don't even know where to begin, and I wish I could talk about it, but I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I'm about to drink water again. So I would say this movie is a rental. It's stupid. It's entertaining. It knows it's stupid, although at times it tries to take itself seriously. Well, then again, it is a parody of Pride and Prejudice, so I understand that. So yeah, rental for Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Next up, Race. This is the Jesse Owens biopic. This movie was okay. Stephen James, I think that was his name. He played Jesse Owens. He was fantastic, as was Jason Sudeikis, who really surprised me in this film. I love Sudeikis, but he hasn't really been on the strong streak lately with his comedy films, although he was fantastic here playing the dramatic role of the the manager, coach of Jesse Owens. The problem with this movie was that, first of all, it was way too long. Second, there were a lot of cliches in here. Unnecessary, stupid subplots. One involving an affair that only went on for like 2 minutes. Like, yeah, I'm supposed to be compelled by that. Okay, director, whoever. Stephen Hawkins? I don't know his name. I don't remember. I'm too lazy to look that up, guys. But, I mean, it is an interesting story. Jesse Owens is an influential person for sure, for what he's done. So I would say definitely consider checking out this movie. I would say it's a rental as well. And and the last Blu-ray release is 999. I was so excited for this film. This film is directed by John Hillcoat. Stars a huge ensemble cast of Casey Affleck, Aaron Paul, Kate Winslet, Norman Reedus, Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Gail Gadot. The cast is amazing here. But sadly, though, this film kind of dragged. It felt like a typical mob film. And it wasn't bad. It was just okay. I was just disappointed with it because I was excited for it because I love gangster films. Crime is my favorite genre in film. I love John Hillcoat, and I love almost everybody in this cast. But because of the generic plot, decent acting, and writing, it's just that I didn't really buy this movie. I was just like, it was okay. It was disappointing. It was a matinee film. I saw it at a matinee. And I wanted to love it, or at least like it, but I just thought it was okay. It was probably the first disappointing film of 2016, although, wait a minute, I had to think about that. I think Zoolander 2 came out before that, and Zoolander 2 was so disappointing. Yeah, 999, Rental, just not a great film like it could have been, but luckily, one of the films that's coming out tomorrow, June 7th on Blu-ray, is a big buy, and I can't wait to talk about that film on next week's episode. So that is it with the Blu-ray releases. Now let's go to the movie reviews. Should I start with the romance movie or should I start with the family film? Let's start with the romance film. Let's start with Me Before You. I don't have my video review for this yet. I'll probably upload it later, but then again, when this episode gets published on YouTube, we'll have to see. Me Before You is the new romance film. It stars Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin. I was looking forward to this movie, and I'll say this right now. I'm not the biggest romance film fan. Now, the reason why is because they're all generic for the most part. A lot of them have like the typical Nicholas Sparks teen thing. We were separate, and we were meant for each other, like, two different sides. Like, oh, grow the fuck up and do something else. Good romance movies include the Before series, 500 Days of Summer, The Fault in Our Stars. Those are good romance movies. But the trailers for this movie actually got to me. Well, for one thing, they had Ed Sheeran on it. Ed Sheeran's the fucking king. But also, it looks like a good movie. And I gotta say, I liked the film. I didn't love it, but I liked it for the most part. There were a lot of things I liked, but then there were some problems with it too. So let's start with the writing and directing. Now, the film is directed by Fia Gatha, and it is a well-directed film. Although it does pry into some of the typical cliches, but I think most romance films do. So, I mean, it is a well-directed film. There's definitely moments that really grasped me, like some emotional moments. There was a lot of heart to it. There was some good comedy to it. It was a well-directed film, but I can't say it was, like, fantastically directed. But I would say that it is probably, like, the third best romance film, mainstream romance film we've had this decade so far. I still will go on by saying Fault in Our Stars is the best one we've had this decade so far. Or About Time. I mean, I can't count Before Midnight because that's an indie. So, I would have to think about that, to be quite honest. Yeah, you guys might have to give me like 6 hours to think about that. Yeah, so the directing, like, good, not great. The writing-wise, it's written by the same person who wrote the novel, which this film was based on. Some of the dialogue did not get to me. Some of the dialogue was so typical romance and everything, but some of the dialogue, like I said before, got to me because of the commitment that was in these actors' eyes, and we'll get to that in the acting, but, like, the writing, for the most part, was pretty strong, and I could see how this is a faithful adaptation to the book, although the ending of the film is extremely controversial. Because, first of all, apparently it's not the same ending to the book, which kind of shocks me because, like I said before, the writer of this film is the writer of the book. So it shocks me that she didn't go with the same ending, but, I mean, a lot of people like to take risks whenever they adapt their own books into films. So, I mean, yeah. I guess I could bring up the ending now. I didn't hate the ending. I didn't love it either. I thought it was a very risky ending. But once you see the movie, you'll understand what I mean by that. So, I mean... Yeah, writing... Editing-wise, the movie, I think, is like an hour and 50 minutes. It goes with that pace. It starts off kind of bumpy, but then towards the middle, it gets a little quicker, and then towards the end, it starts to get a little bumpy again. Probably because of the events that take place during the climax of the film. So I can't really praise the end. I'll just give a mixed reaction to the end by saying, Acting-wise, this is the good stuff right here. First of all, I had no idea that Charles Dance was in this movie. Now, if you guys do not know who he is, he plays Tywin Lannister on Game of Thrones. And the funny thing is, Emilia Clarke, who's also on Game of Thrones, she plays Daenerys Targaryen, she's in this movie too, and they interact, and I'm like, oh, if only Daenerys and Tywin could have some kind of scene on Game of Thrones, and then Daenerys would obviously kill the guy, because she's the mother of dragons. Bitch. Emilia Clarke was amazing in this film. She is seriously a terrific actress. I love her on Game of Thrones. I love her in this movie. The only other movie that I saw her in was Terminator Genocide. She wasn't bad as Sarah Connor. She just wasn't incredible. That was because of the way the film was directed. So, I mean, you can't necessarily blame her. She did try. So, I gotta give her that. Yeah, she was great. She had a lot of emotion to her. When she cried, I cried with her because I love Emilia Clarke so much. She is a goddess. I don't care what people say. She's a beautiful woman. She's so charming. She's sweet. And I love her accent. I love it so much. Sam Claflin, who plays Finnick in the Hunger Games, he was good here. He wasn't great, but he was good. There were some moments where he kind of acted wooden, and I'm like, ugh. Come on, bro. You know better. Their chemistry, though, was great. Their back and forth was amazing, and I bought them as lovers. I really liked their dynamic, and, yeah. It was a really sweet, endearing chemistry, and that's what I liked. Like I said before, Charles Dance is in this movie. He was pretty good. He played, Sam Claflin's father, and, he did a pretty good job, although it was weird seeing him as a good guy, because Tywin Lannister is a fucking dick. And, yeah. I hate him so much. The mother was fine. The doctor who assists, Sam Claflin, he was fine too. One performance that kind of got on my nerves was the person that played Emilia Clarke's sister, who's really cute, but, like, you could have acted a little better, but the performance I thought was actually horrible was Matthew Lewis. Now, if you guys do not know who he is, first of all, he plays Emilia Clarke's boyfriend in this movie. He is the guy that played Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter. Yeah, it was weird seeing him in this movie. I thought he was really bad in this movie. I thought he was horrible. And I don't know if I can blame that on him. First of all, it's weird seeing him outside of Harry Potter because I haven't seen him in anything since Deathly Hallows Part 2, which came out 5 years ago. So, I mean, it's kind of weird, but, I mean, it is cool when you see people who are in Harry Potter outside of Harry Potter. Like, obviously, Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson are doing really well. Ray Fiennes has been doing well. Alan Rickman did well, but he's no longer with us. The guy who played Dean in Harry Potter, he's now on How to Get Away with Murder. So, I mean, that's a cool thing because that show is really popular. I don't watch it, but yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, Matthew Lewis was horrible. And then the love triangle cliche. Like, I didn't even know there was a love triangle going into this. I didn't even know Emilia Clarke's character had a boyfriend going in. So I'm like, oh, come on. Can we not do a Twilight love triangle thing, please? I'm not going to say how it ends, but I mean, I feel like you guys probably know how it all ends. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, yeah, the love triangle just got on my nerves. Cinematography-wise, it's nicely shot, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of cliches in this movie. Overall, I liked the film. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It has like a 58%, which is a decent rating for the movie for sure. Yeah, would I recommend this movie? Sure. Go see it at matinee. I know a lot of couples like to go see movies in the evening, but I would not go pay full price for this movie. I would say go to matinee instead. So I'm gonna give Me Before You a solid B. Yeah, I do recommend it, and I hope it does well. I haven't looked at the box office results. Actually, I did, but I don't really remember them, so yeah. And now we get to my review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. And this is the sequel to 2014's TMNT, or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Wow, that was... Wow, excuse me. It's the sequel to 2014's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I did not see in the theater. I saw it on cable. I think on Hulu Plus or Amazon Prime, one of those two streaming services. I didn't hate it, but I understand the dislikes for it. The Turtles were barely in the movie. It focused more on the humans. It felt like a Transformers movie, to be quite honest. So when they announced the sequel, I'm like, okay, I can understand that because the first one did make a serviceable amount of money. And plus, I mean, different directors. The first one was directed not so great. This one's directed by Dave Green, who made Earth to Echo. And obviously, Michael Bay is back to produce it and stuff. So my expectations for this movie, like I said before, I didn't hate the first one. I actually enjoyed the trailers for this movie. And I'm like, this film could go either way. This film could be really fun and stupid and campy. Or it could just be really stupid to the point where it actually sucks. I'm happy to say that it's the film that isn't stupid. Well, it is, but it knows it's stupid. I actually don't understand the hate that this film's getting. I thought this was a fun film. I didn't love it. It was like a guilty pleasure movie. I had fun with TMNT Out of the Shadows. So let's start with the directing. Now, the film was directed by Dave Green. There are problems with the directing, but I'll start with my positives with the directing. The movie captures campiness and quirkiness to it of the Ninja Turtles. And I didn't really grow up with the characters that much. So I can't say if it's like accurate or not. But what I will say is this. I believe that it had good flow to it, and it was fun, it was energetic, it wasn't bland. That's a credit to the direction. My flaws with the directing, there are some characters here that are not well executed, and one particular character whose storyline goes very well at first, ends so poorly to the point where I wanted to scream at the screen. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck, Dave Green? Fuck you, Dave Green, and fuck you, Michael Bay. Moving on to the writing. The writing is so fucking cheesy, but it is my biggest flaw with the movie. There's a lot of bad dialogue in this movie. Some of it I can get past, but some of it I just can't. And there's some backstories with characters that just aren't well executed enough, like Casey Jones' backstory. Casey Jones is a cop in this movie, and that's all we really know about him. And it's just like, okay, like, yeah, like, whatevs. And, like, particularly with Shredder. Shredder in the last film was poorly executed because he was just a big, gigantic robot. In this movie, he's a human being. And when you see him as a robot, not a robot, when you see him in his outfit, he's like normal size. He's not like 25 feet tall like a Transformer like he was in the last film. So, I mean, I guess that's an improvement and everything, but that's not really with the writing. But really, his story begins very well. And then all of a sudden, he just disappears. And we never see him again. There's no explanation. They just cut him off, and then that's it. That's horrible. I'm really pissed off about that. So that's just qualms with the writing. But I mean, the dialogue with the Turtles is like the lines you would hear in the original cartoons. And there were a lot of adults when I went to go see this movie the other night. And I was really surprised by that. But it added some flavor, some fan service to it, which made some people happy. Some adults clap, and some kids are like, "What? Huh? Shut the fuck up, kids. Just watch the movie." Sorry, I don't like when little kids are in theaters, because the ones that talk excessively, which are most of them, annoy the fuck out of me. Editing-wise, the movie's surprisingly almost 2 hours. It flies by. Well, like I said, the movie ain't bland whatsoever. It flies by. I thought the movie was like an hour and 20 minutes going into it, but it was an hour and 50 minutes, which might be a little too long, but at least it wasn't 2 hours and 45 minutes like a Transformers film. Thank God. Just thank you. Visuals. The look on the turtles are definitely better than they were in the last film. Bebop and Rocksteady, they look cool, but they don't look incredible. Crane looks fucking horrible, and we'll get to Crane later. I can't wait to say what I have to say about Crane later on. And, Shredder's costume. Yeah. But visually, the film is not great, but it's not the worst visuals I think I've seen this year. The worst visuals I've seen this year, probably a Legion. Definitely a Legion. Because I noticed a lot of green screen. Or, Alice Through the Looking Glass was not bad visually. I just noticed a lot of green screen to it, so I mean, yeah. So yeah, and moving on to the acting, the Turtles themselves, they're all good. All of them. All the voice actors worked very well. Shredder was not a dick. Oh, not Shredder. Splinter was not a dick, excuse me. Shredder is a dick. The actor that played Shredder was actually not too bad. He did a decent job for what he was going to do. Megan Fox did what she did in the last film. She just walked around looking sexy, which is appealing to all of us gentlemen, although she doesn't look as good as she does when you compare her from this movie to the first Transformers movie, which came out 9 years ago, which is insane, because I remember seeing that movie opening day with my mom. It's crazy. Yeah, Megan Fox, she did. I'm glad there wasn't anything serious with her, like where she had to like cry or anything. She was just being fun, Megan Fox. That's what she was doing. So yeah. Will Arnett surprisingly did not make me want to shoot myself in the face. In the last film, he was god awful. In this movie, he's still an idiot, but he's not as bad as he was in the last film. I'm telling you guys the truth about that. So yeah, Will Arnett, not too bad. Is there any other returning cast members? Splinter, like I said, he ain't a dick, and he did good. Talk about the new people. Who should we start with? Let's start with Tyler Perry. Fuck, I forgot the doctor's name. I'm gonna search up Tyler Perry through Google, so, yeah, here we go, guys. I'm gonna speak to Google while I'm recording to you guys. Okay, Google. Tyler Perry.
According to Wikipedia, Tyler Perry is an American actor, producer, director, screenwriter, playwright, author, and songwriter, specializing in the gospel genre.
That's a lot of stuff that Tyler Perry does. Let's see. He played the character of Baxter Stockman. Okay. Baxter Stockman was a weird dude. He was very quirky. I think Tyler Perry kind of pulled it off, but his character didn't really add anything to the movie. I don't think he had to be here. So, yeah, Tyler Perry did fine. Laura Linney looked like she was confused the entire fucking time. I love Laura Linney a lot, and I'm gonna say this right now. She's a MILF, okay? I know it's inappropriate to say that, but she is a MILF. In my eyes, she is. I don't know how other few people feel about her, but I think she's a MILF. I think she's a good-looking woman for her age. In certain movies. In this one, I think she looks good. Yeah, it was weird seeing her in this movie because I just never really pictured someone like her to be in a movie like this. So, I mean, She was probably here just for the paycheck. Bebop and Rocksteady. Now, one of those two guys is Stevie's father from Malcolm in the Middle, and he is a fucking hilarious dude. Gary Anthony Williams is so freaking funny. I love that dude so much. Guys, if you haven't watched Malcolm in the Middle, you gotta find scenes with him because he's hilarious as Stevie's father. If you guys don't remember who Stevie is, he's the kid in the wheelchair that's friends with Malcolm. So, I enjoyed them at first, but then over time they got annoying because all they were like is, my man, my man, my man. Okay, I get it, you're criminals and stuff, but like, just get off screen. Like, get the fuck off. Bye-bye. Shredder. Like I said before, a decent performance. His character the way his character storyline ended just really pissed me off, and I was just like, oh, this is fucking horrible. Crane. Crane was fucking horrible. I don't know who voiced him, but whoever did, it's not the voice that annoyed me. Crane just looked like a fucking ugly, like, gooey gusher. He looked like a gusher candy. What the fuck? He was so fucking stupid. I don't like that. That was horribly executed. Crane is horrible in this movie. F to Crane. Like, just great F to him. But then we get to Stephen Amell, who plays Casey Jones. When this casting was announced, I was so excited for it because I love Stephen Amell as the Green Arrow. And I was looking forward to seeing him do something outside of the Arrowverse. It wasn't that he wasn't as good as he could have been. And I didn't realize that Stephen Amell actually talks like that. I guess when you're playing Oliver Queen, you have to be stoic like this. Like, instead of this movie, he was so energetic and stuff. He did okay. And Casey Jones is a cool character, but he just wasn't as well executed in this movie because, like I said, he's just a cop and he's just a hockey fan. He isn't like the Casey Jones we remember from the cartoons or the original movies and stuff. So, I mean, like, Stephen Amell, he did fine. He wasn't great. He wasn't terrible. But I understand why people might be saying that he was bad in the movie. I totally understand that. Overall, I enjoyed the film. I didn't love it. I thought it was really stupid and campy, but I had a good time with it. I gave it a C+. So that's it for my review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow. So now we get to the box office results, which I will load up right now, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is interesting. I don't even think Matt would have gotten this, to be quite honest. First off, Popstar Never Stop, Never Stopping came out this week, obviously. It made $4.6 million at number 8. I don't know how much this movie cost, but I think this movie's going to tank. And this movie got really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it has like a 79%. I really should have seen this week. But I didn't really want to go to the movie theater and cough excessively. And also, I was binge-watching Game of Thrones because I wasn't caught up. And now, since I'm caught up, I'm like, oh, fuck, I could have gone to see it. I actually could have gone to see it today. But, I mean, I still could. But I don't want to pay, like, $13. Movie tickets are so expensive now. And I don't want to waste the last of my gift card, either. I only like to use my gift card for matinee films. So it came in 8th place and it only made $4.6 million, which kind of sucks, but I mean, whatever. Alright, so here we go with the results. Number 5 is the Angry Birds movie with $9.7 million. The budget is $73, domestically $86, and worldwide $283. Yeah, that's that. Number 4, Alice for the Looking Glass with $10.6 million. The budget is $170, domestically $50, and worldwide $175 with this movie. Crack. It could. I certainly hope it doesn't. I think the maximum this movie will make is $300. I don't think this movie will make more than $300 million. And the movie, in order for it to break even, has to make at least $360. So yeah. Yep. Number 3, Me Before You with $18.2 million. That's also the same domestic total. Production budget is $20 million, and worldwide the film was $26.4 million. This movie will break even. I think it could break even, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't matter. Because Warner Bros. Is going to be fine this year. Yes, I get it. Batman v Superman didn't make as much money as they wanted it to, but it made a lot of money. It made almost $900 million. That's a lot of money, so they gotta stop whining about it. Like, just calm down. Number 2, X-Men Apocalypse with $22.3 million. Deserves so much more. Apocalypse was such a good film. I get it that it wasn't as good as the last X-Men film, but it was still a good film. The superhero fatigue is really showing. This kind of upsets me. Batman v Superman ruined it all. It did. It ruined it. It ruined it. Okay. So the budget is $178, domestically $116, and worldwide $400 million. The movie already broke even. That's good, but I believe the Days of Future Past made $700. I have to look that up right now. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah, Days of Future Past made $747 million worldwide. Yeah. And number 1, TMNT Out of the Shadows with $35.2 million. Domestically, $35.2 million. The production budget is $135, and worldwide, it's got $69.2. Couldn't break even. I don't think so. Will this be does Paramount have anything big coming out this year? Guys, does Paramount have anything coming out this year that's big? I can't really think of anything on top of my head right now. See, if Transformers is coming out, that would probably make a lot of money, but it doesn't come out till next year, so, yeah. So, yeah, guys, TMNT Out of the Shadows is number 1 this week at the box office. So that is it, guys, for this episode of Nerdy Scores, a film podcast. I'm sorry for the kind of stuttering this week. It's kind of difficult doing an episode solo, to be quite honest, because, I don't know, when you have Matt on, it kind of makes things a little quicker, but then again, part of me didn't want him on because I don't think he saw anything this weekend. He probably saw Popstar, but, I mean, if so, he's lucky because I need to see Popstar. And like I said, guys, if I do see it, I'll upload a separate mini review for that film. I promise you guys that. So that is it for this episode of the show. Next week on episode 42, like I said before, Warcraft and Conjuring 2. If, for some reason, I could see Now You See Me 2, I will go and see Now You See Me 2. Alright, guys. I know a lot of people are really curious about that film, and honestly, it's probably going to be the second best reviewed movie coming out this weekend because Warcraft is getting tanked by the critics. And Conjuring 2 is being, acclaimed by the critics, so, I mean, yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Bryan698. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/BryanSuffield. Subscribe to the show on Spreaker and iTunes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week, along with Matt, and hopefully on Sunday, June 12th. Peace out, everybody. Bye.